Hey there YouTube, this is Jake with Jaw Media, and in today's video we've got another graphics card, and this is a PNY, whatever, GT 1030. And this card here, brand new, cost just as much as I paid for my eBay XFX RX 580. Which is a much more capable card. So that just goes to show you, if you're shopping for a graphics card, try eBay first, or Facebook, or something, because there's a good chance you'll find a pretty powerful card for almost as much money, or just a little more money than a not so capable GT 1030. This is a good card if you're playing like Xbox 360 era games, PlayStation 3 era games. This will run those pretty well. This is only a 2 gigabyte model. It is GDDR5, but it's only 2 gigabytes. And this is the old, what is it, Pascal architecture. So it's just outdated. Now, I've mentioned it in 2 other videos already, but I still can't. I stole this graphics card. This is the XFX RX 580, and vastly outperforms, obviously, the GT 1030. But it's a much newer card. This is an 8 gigabyte GDDR5 card, but this one will run next gen games like Red Dead Redemption at reasonable frame rates. Obviously you can turn the settings down and get much better frame rates, but for some reason I just like to crank the settings up as much as I can and just deal with chugging frame rates. I don't competitively game online except for Halo, but I don't really do that much anymore because SWAT isn't a ranked playlist on the Master Chief Collection, and I don't like Halo 5. So I don't care if I've got horrible frame rate, so I just crank it up and make the card turn into a furnace and enjoy playing. And I usually do one game at a time. I don't play multiple different games at the same time. And right now I'm on Red Dead Redemption 2, and that's what I'm playing with my RTX 2060. So in this video, we're going to see what's underneath this giant, high-performance looking, fantastic heatsink. We're going to look at the die. And this is pretty self-explanatory. There's really no reason to take it apart, but you know, I like taking things apart. And since I really don't care about this card, we're going to use power tools, take these, hopefully this works. The screws are shooting out. Yeah, there's a little retainer or a tension spring on each of these screws that helps, you know, put a little tension on that massive heat sink. Oh, it fell off. Wow, look at that thing. I'm trying not to touch the board that much, but oh well. So the fan has a little 2-wire plug on it. And there's our thermal compound, and it's like old chewing gum. I have no idea how old this is. This came in a Dell XPS 8500 from like 2011, 2012. It wound up needing a motherboard, so I had to put a motherboard in it. But it did come with this graphics card. So I guess, you know, if you rewind time about 10 years ago, it was a pretty serious computer. It had a Core i5, I don't remember, like 3460 processor in it. It had 8 gigabytes of DDR3 RAM. It was a decent little computer 10 years ago. So anyway, here's the die. Let me zoom in on it. I don't know if anybody even cares to look at this. Don't drop the camera, that would suck. Just edit this out. Why does it look so dark? Do we need light? Here's the tiny GPU die, and here's our 2 memory chips. I guess they're 1 gigabyte apiece. Can't tell what brand they are. I don't know enough about this stuff to recognize a brand of a memory chip or not. It says A8 HA47, and then M. There's a design M with a circle going around it. I'm sure people on YouTube are screaming, "Ah, it's this brand, duh!" Then there's no power connector. This card gets its power through the PCIe lane. Let's just try to clean this off. It's so bitty itty, so tiny. Just kind of clean that off. Maybe it really was chewing gum they were using as thermal paste. Or maybe it's 20 years old. I don't think, even if it's running RDR2, I don't think it'll care how hot it gets, because it won't get that hot, because it can't. It doesn't have enough power draw. Heck, this thing may not even work after we put it back together, since we're going to reassemble it with a drill. Alright, right up here's the thermal paste. The lid is stuck. Now this is going to use just a teeny tiny little dab. Just a tiny dab. Here, have some of that.
I got time, it's clear to see from up here.
Well, that looks terrible, but it's a GT1030. I don't think it cares. Now make sure your little washer things are on there. Plug your fan back in, even though I don't think it cares. Make sure you touch everything with your hands. Weird crunching sounds are, it's a good sign. And then get your drill. Run these screws in.
We can sit
together. I think I cross-threaded that one.
You and me. In the great outdoors.
So, anyway, there you go. That's how you take apart your GT1030. And remove the bubble gum off of it, and then install new paste. Well, out goes the RTX 2060, and in goes the GT1030. Our PC specs, same as normal. Ryzen 7 3800X, 16 gigabytes of 3200 megahertz random access memory, and Asus ROG Strix B450F gaming motherboard with RGB. Cooler Master all-in-one cooler with a little 2-fan radiator. Look at that, it's so good. It's working. Well, we've got Red Dead running on the GT1030. Its settings are set like as low as possible, and it's running at almost 30 frames per second. Yeah, look at that.
Look out, old man.
See? You can play newer games on a 1030. It's just not very pretty. And the CPU is pretty busy. 4.1 gigahertz, 23% utilization. Dude, you're using 9 gigabytes of memory. Wow. I'm playing one-handed, that's why it's like not looking very good at all. On the phone screen, it looks pretty good, but in real life you can tell it's like real crappy looking and chugging around. But hey, it's playable. I think. Yeah, it's playable. So anyway, there you have it. Playing Red Dead Redemption 2 on a GT1030 in 2020. Now, I'm not sure if you'd probably have a different experience if you had a different CPU, maybe like a Ryzen 5. I don't know if it if it would run it the same or not, I don't know. But there you have it. So I guess we'll see you in the next video. Thanks for watching.